12 Years a Slave continues its Oscar march here at the New York Film Festival. This is only your third film.
Yes.
How was it to take on not only such a big production, but a period piece, no less, that have such importance?
I think the biggest challenge actually was the heat. It was so hot there, and it was just one of those things where it was very trying in that intensity of weather, really, as well as the subject matter. So it was a weird sort of how can I say, a weird environment to be in a way.
How is it to go from literally playing a comic book villain like Magneto to such a realistic villain here?
Well, there was a bit of space between the two. It's all right, you know. It's all, you know, in sort of the preparation and the story, and just my job is to facilitate the story, so it's fine. It's just, you know, I just do what I'm required to do.
So you have a very powerful song in the movie. Is that an actual song, or was it written for this?
No. It was a song that was sung back then. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, I can imagine, right? How did it feel to stand there and sing that in front of your fellow cast members?
It was. You end up enjoying it weirdly once you start, but I do remember stepping to work that day and seeing them lined up in their rags and having to tuck Paul, make sure I was diluted enough to go do it right.
You have an interesting role because we never really see behind the face that you present to your slaves. How is it portraying that kind of character and still giving her some depth?
Well, I'm glad you thought there was some depth. That was definitely something I tried to do. You know, unlike Michael in the movie, who's able to, you see so clearly how much in love he is with Patsy, that I think it softens some of his, or you at least are really able to understand why he's motivated to behave the way that he is. Not that you're condoning it, but that as an audience member, you understand that he's hating himself for loving this person. And for Mr. Steps, it's a little bit different. It's much more hidden. You don't have any of those scenes where you see me crying in bed alone because I'm so upset that my husband loves another. So that was up to me to kind of create an inner life that would hopefully translate into something bigger going on internally for her.
You had such a difficult role to portray because you want to make Patsy not seem like she's just insane, and you do it really well. So how did you approach that?
Well, I when I first read the script, I just cried. I felt so sorry for Patsy, and I recognized that was no way to play her. That I had to move from a place of sympathy to a place of empathy, because this was a woman in those conditions, and she didn't have the luxury of making her situation precious. She really had to try and get through her pain and not wallow in it. So I wanted to do that with agency and dignity.
How did you wrap your mind as an actor around someone who could love somebody and yet treat them this way?
Absolutely fine, because I study human beings, human behavior, and it's not unusual. And if we're trying to bring drama to the screen, we're looking for conflict, and to have conflict within the character makes my job easier, actually.
Some people might feel, well, I've seen films about slavery, I've seen Roots. What do you think 12 Years a Slave brings to the discussion?
Well, I think Roots is an extraordinary piece, but I don't think there's not just one way to tell a story about slavery, and there shouldn't just be one kind of narrative about it, and then that's done. This is a story about a person, a man, and it's a tale from so deep inside the slave experience that I think it's actually kind of I think it's unique in that way, and I certainly have never seen a story like it or read a story like it, and I thought it was sort of deeply remarkable.
And the last question I want to ask you is, you have a really intense scene here, and the scars on your back look so horrific. How was that achieved?
Oh, it's a big secret.
Oh, movie magic.
Movie magic.
Well, it was very moving. Thank you so much.